When you think of Fallout 3, what comes to mind?
A BB gun, perhaps a laser pistol, but most certainly a 10mm pistol comes to mind. And if you've read the title, you'll know that. Today, I'm going to find out.
Can you beat Fallout 3 with only the 10mm pistol?
Being born into the vault, I chose a name my father would be proud of. My mother loving it so much, she proceeded to die. And now, at the age of 1, I chose my special stats, putting a 10 into perception, so that Vats would do more for me. I assume my avid Fallout 3 fans already know that gunplay isn't the best, and an 8 in intelligence, endurance and luck, for more level ups and better criticals respectively. With that out of the way, it was now my 10th birthday, where I received my Pip-Boy, and now came the RadRoach, which I did have to kill, but now is where I break it for you. If Fallout 3 is always played as intended, there is no way for weapon restricted runs to go ahead.
And yes, I do know
of a way to sneak out of the vault as a baby, and you can go straight to Little Lamplight. But to me, even though that validates the run, there is no fun in it, and there is no proper video I can create with that. So to me, I will go ahead and skip the RadRoach, and I will ask you to forget I shot it, as it is impossible to skip, aside from glitches like I just said. So to that end, let's collectively forget about it. With my run validation out of the way, I became 16 and took the GOAT, and I chose medicine, repair and small guns as my tag skills. Medicine so I could properly and more efficiently cure my battle scars. Repair, as I would soon find out, the 10mm pistol, at least for me, breaks down very easily. And small guns, as a 10mm pistol, as you'll find out, is a small gun. I was then 19 and Amar woke me up and told me the vault was in chaos, also handing me my weapon for the run, the glorious 10mm pistol. So that was easy. And another thing it meant was that I could do some damage in the vault, immediately exercising my right as an American citizen to shoot and kill whomever I liked. By shooting Officer Kendall and stealing his vault security outfit, I did balance this out by saving Butcher's mother from the roaches. For now, I say. I may have also put down Officer Richards and O'Brien once I had reached the main room, them giving me some more ammo and pistols in return. Then Hannon and Mac and even Big Man Overseer, as they all deserve to be put down. With my fun time inside the vault coming to an end, I looted as much as I physically could and left, at the behest of Amara, as I had just killed her father and tried to kill her. With that, I was out into the waste and had money on my mind, so I met up with Silver, and she, willingly, with no force, she gave me her caps. I then ran over to Megaton. I should also say, if you notice I am not wearing clothes, it's because I move faster without them, so I made it a priority to hotkey the armour, so I'd move quicker. Inside, I traded all my trash to Amara for some caps. I met up with Mr. Burke and I agreed to help him, and as this time I did just that, rigging the nuke at the heart of Megaton to explode, as I may have a vendetta against them after what they put me through last Fallout 3 video. I was now headed to Tenpenny Tower to meet Mr. Burke, so I could see the fireworks. My way there was also fraught with many feral dogs. One I even made backflip. I may have also found some Brotherhood outcasts, and one of them I may have killed for the power armor. Me running for my life, I fled the scene. Reaching Tenpenny Tower, Gustavo let me in, me also agreeing to deal with the ghoul situation before heading up to meet Mr. Burke and Alistair. I will put it on pause just before I let off the explosion to tell you why this doesn't fail the run, as I don't think a nuke is a 10mm pistol. But to that end, if this failed the run, then so should the nuke to blow up the Institute in Fallout 4, due to the people inside still being alive. My point done, feel free to dislike. Now resuming the show, I pressed the button, my Megaton went up in smoke.
The big kaboom is... it's inevitable, I'm afraid.
Burke then gave me 500 caps for my trouble, but I was like, I think I want something else, and I like the look of his 10mm pistol, so with a bit of convincing, he agreed to give it to me. Now having a silenced 10mm pistol, you'd think I would spec into sneak, but for that, you would be wrong. So for now, my eyes were set on doing some more evil, this time to the people I literally just helped kill a whole town, so I'd say it's fine. With my new plan of action, I made my way to the metro to seek the meeting with Roy, only having to kill a few ferals on my way there. Speaking with him, I told him of Gustavo's plan to kill them all, so I made an executive decision to help Roy and the ghouls, agreeing with him to open the access tunnel below Tenpenny Tower so he could let the ferals in. So to that end, I went to do just that. Just before going down into the basement, I decided to shoot all the guards who were sleeping outside, in turn getting myself a nice set of guard armour and the key of Gustavo, so I could go down to the basement and blow up all the generators, turning the power off and letting the ghouls in. Leaving, I met Roy at the entrance, and he gave me the ghoul mask to protect me from the ferals, and the slaughter of the elites commenced. As I ran around picking off any that the ghouls missed, and collecting some backup armour. Once it was all over, I thought I would get something in return. It turns out I was wrong, and seemingly killed them all for no reason. That makes two. I then decided to return to the ruins of Megaton, where Moira looked a bit worse for wear, but was still able to repair my pistol, somehow, but here comes my genius. I should say for what I just did, as for all the slaughter, I had no ammo left, and I had just destroyed the 2 places that had great ammo vendors, so being out of options and only having 7 bullets, I made my way to Rabbit City. It being an easy track, I used the water, and the enemies I did run into, I could just outrun, finally making it to Flak and Shrapnel, where I brought up their ammo, and then as I was here, I spoke to Madison Lee, who told me of Project Fury, being my father's location, so that is where I went. Now it was against the super mutants at Project Purity, where I found out just how terrible the 10mm pistol in Fallout 3 truly is, as all the mutants took over 10 shots to go down, emphasising this. Whether or not it was due to the silencer or not, I do not know. All I know is that it was terrible, and with the added fact that the durability was also dreadful, but even with this I was able to clear out the outside of the memorial. But I did have to go back to Rabbit City to stock up on ammo and repair the pistol. As I can tell you now, a lot of my time was spent here, as the vendors took over 3 days to restock most of the time, so it was fun to commit. Returning to the memorial, I started the slow process of clearing out all the mutants. That was a very good help here, as it did make it so there was a chance that I got some criticals off, making them come down quicker. Going down into the basement, it was more of the same, me using Vats where possible and mostly firing to the sea of green men. To show it even more how bad this was, going into the rotunda I had to go back to Rivet City again, but afterwards I was able to make it through the ones in the rotunda with ease, them coming down quickly. Me now finding out my father was in Vault 112, so that is where I headed. The way there saw no problems, me only saving my pistol as I got inside, not bothering to kill the mole rats. I then hopped inside the simulation and caused the Chinese to invade. With a sick cheat code I had learned and got my father out of there. We met back up at Project Purity, where I started to do all the chores he gave me to fix the machine, eventually making it down into the pipes, where I turned the valve and saw the Enclave arrive. Whipping out my pistol, I was able to easily take care of any Enclave soldier in my way, being tenfold easier than the super mutants I had fought up to this point, making sure to grab the armor of the dead ones, as I wanted it for later. Reaching the rotunda, I saw my father getting interrogated by Autumn, him then switching on Project Purity, killing them all. Me being able to have one last conversation with my father, as using a camera trick allowed me to talk to NPCs through walls. Me having one last convo as he laid there dying. I stopped it to let him die, and all of a sudden he decided to get up and have a walk. After that ghost-like behaviour, I left him and fled to the sewer with Madison, where I also made a point to kill all the scientists to make my life easier. The sewer was also made even easier upon that fact, as I had the ghoul mask from earlier, allowing me to run past them with no fear. Thankfully them also not attacking Madison. Making it to the Citadel, I watched the fun cutscene, which was pointless, got permission from Lions to use the power armor, and went searching for the guy who gives the training, just to realise he was in the main area the whole time. Getting the training from the Brotherhood member, I equipped the Enclave armor and got the location of the get from Rothschild and headed that way. Now also being at the point in the story where Vault 101 was open again, so I went back inside, telling the new overseer that I would help him quell the rebellion I had seemingly started. Getting to the rebels, I did the only thing I saw fit, as a lot of them had some nice shiny 10mm pistols I like the look of. So to start, I shot old Lady Palmer's head clean off, put down Freddy Gomez, also blowing his head off, then popped Martyr's head off, even making sure to kill Andy. Then was Broch, Christine Kendall and Butch, whom I savoured killing as he was a bully. Getting his legendary knife for some cash in the future, with my slaughter of the rebels complete, I returned to the Overseer, but as shown earlier, my allegiance was with no one, so I promptly shot his head off and ransacked his office, leaving the vault the same way I had earlier. Overall, this little tangent going well, as I left with over 300 bullets and some 10mm, so I could repair mine on the go. After exiting the vault, I started my trek to Little Lamplight, and immediately was accosted by some Enclave soldiers, who gave me a warm welcome. Luckily they were still all a pushover, and this also allowed me to repair my armour. The only reason I even bring all this up is the strange thing that occurred. First, there was an officer who decided he would just stand there and not shoot at me, no matter how much I shot him. Then out of nowhere, I see a death court ascend into the heavens. Then, a few seconds later, followed by another one. All the while, the Enclave officer still standing there not attacking me. I don't know what to say. All I can say is, the wise words of Todd Howard, it just works. And I continued on to my destination, making it to Little Lamplight with no further Deathclaw related rocket ships. I got there and was reminded by McCready I did not have the child at Heartburg, so it seems that this time I was off to Paradise Falls to rescue some children. Reaching Paradise Falls, I was allowed access due to the unspeakable acts I had previously committed, and I found Squirrel, who told me his plan of action which I needed to turn the power on. I then did that for him, and then he needed me to get rid of 40, who was a guard in their way. Now I can say this took me a while of searching around trying to figure out how to get him out of the way. Let's just say it's something people do when they're very happy. Now with that unpleasant thought out of the way, I got the children to leave. Just having to convince another one, Penny, that then leading me to Rory, who I got out of the tube, using the same camera glitch I had used on my father. He then phased out of the tube as if there was nothing there. Not even a minute later he was gunned down, but that was not my problem, and I returned to Little Lamplight, where McCready let me in, and I pushed forward to Murder Pass. With my knowledge at the Jefferson Memorial took a very long time to kill, I made the smart decision to run past all the mutants in the way until I got to the gate. That being what I did, as I ran through all the areas, making it to the laboratory area, where all the mutants continued to follow me, even through the load zones. Getting the gate was no hassle, without the forks, as I could just stand in the doorway and take no radiation damage. The annoying part came when I got out, as all the mutants followed me there, leading me trapped between all their vulgar muscles, making me very uncomfortable. So I took my distance, allowed for them to disperse, and Colonel Autumn arrived. But for some reason, I got no loading screen, and was stuck there laying on the floor. Whether or not this was just a bug, or it was due to the sheer amount of mutants piled together off screen, I don't know. All I know is that I was forced to reload. This not being all bad, however, as due to the reload zone, none of the mutants from the lower levels followed me there. But I did go out of my way to shoot any in my way this time, collecting the gek as I had done before. This time, the Enclave came to kidnap me, and they actually did. I was then transported to Raven Rock, where I did see what happens if you actually give Autumn the code, as I thought it would fit into the evil nature of the run. And I found out the hard way that he just kills you. So trying again, this time letting him leave, I grabbed my stuff and was greeted by an officer, whom I shot along with some soldiers. But as soon as the president told them to stop shooting me, they forgave me for these prior actions. Then not 5 seconds later, Autumn told them to kill me, so I had some fun shooting. Then reaching the president, I convinced him to blow himself and Raven Rock up, and made a mad dash out of there. Also at the exit, I swapped out my normal Enclave armour for the Tesla armour, because I thought it looked cool. I then watched Raven Rock go up in smoke. I would also like to touch on the fact that I only had 23 bullets left for the final battle, as I geared up for the long walk skulking behind Liberty Prime, as that is what I did, as I watched him kill all our enemies. But as a bit of an anticlimax, I decided to go back to River City just before entering the memorial so I could collect some more well needed ammo. I then returned, after only being gone for 3 days, but that doesn't matter. I then got inside, destroyed all the Enclave in my path, confronted Autumn, blew his head off, and put down his soldiers. I then had some fun with his corpse inside the purifier, and died to the radiation. So trying that again, my plan was just to let the purifier explode. So I found the perfect spot without rads and waited, So with that done, I can say, if you're excluding the RadRoach from Vault 101, Fallout 3 can be beaten with just a 10mm pistol. I can say this one was a fun one to record, definitely a much easier one compared to my last video, but with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe to show your support, as it helps me out a ton. Leave a comment if you have any feedback or suggestions for future runs. Hope you have a good day, and goodbye everybody.